What up, y'all? What's good with you? Another installment of Blackman's thoughts. You know, been a few days, and here on lunch break or whatever, about to head somewhere. But definitely wanted to bring y'all something, man, that's been on my heart. Since the beginning of the week, wanted to break something down, and that's let's talk about self-improvement, self-motivation, self-drive. We talked about topics like that before. We talked about, grooming, you know what I mean? The four things, that you should really doggone, your foundation, you know. But we have to also remember that our foundation and our first love is also honor the Most High, but also, you know what I mean, yourself. You know what I mean. Step two. You know what I mean is that's your mental. We talked about the physical, the spiritual, and the emotional. Okay, we're still on the self improvement. So whether you have Asperger's, whether you have you're shy, you're introverted, how does that then affect you when it comes to dealing with, society? How does that affect you when it's dealing with, hold on, let me put my seatbelt on real quick. Sorry. I need to get a little bit better technology. Hold on real quick. All right, how does that affect you when you're trying to build, when you're trying to level up, when you're trying to network, when you're trying to create a brand? Okay, when somebody sees you within the first 5 to 10, 15 seconds, they only go, sorry to say, they're only going to go by your looks. They're going to go by what you present. This is your brand. This is your advertisement board. This is what the world sees. This is what the world sees. So how you sound, your words, your delivery, your mannerisms, stand in front of the mirror and have a conversation with yourself. Stand in front of the mirror, have a conversation with yourself, and watch how many times you can, or how long you can, keep eye contact with yourself. Watch how you look like when you're talking. Your posture. We talked about that before. But why is that important? Why is that important on self-improvement? And it's all because everything that you show, everything that you present is how they're going to take you. So if you come to them and your shirt's all wrinkled and you're sounding a certain way, this is what they're going to focus on. So if you have a business and you're in this, let's just say 10 o'clock at night, my dad always say, you never know who you're going to meet. You never know who you're going to meet that's able to either benefit you in life, change your life, give you an opportunity. You could be somewhere at a local bar just chilling, and you run into somebody who has a business, and you meet what they need. But your first appearance of you is what? You at the bar, you're cussing, you're fighting, you're argumentative, you're loud, you're obnoxious. Always remember, there was people watching you no matter where you go. No matter what you're doing, people are looking at you. Whether it's male or female, they're looking at you. You have to always show confidence, always show intelligence. That's the most important thing for black men, because we don't get another chance. There is no redo. There is no this isn't the movies where you can say, hey, let me go and start over. Yeah, that sounds good, but guess what? You've already left an impression. So even then, you're going to have even a shorter amount of time, because you say something else and say, see, I thought so. So your first impression is always your most important impression. So when you're talking about self-help, self-improvement, We're talking about changing the way we feel about ourselves. That's the first thought. Because no matter how well you can dress, no matter what's your motivation, if you are approaching life as if someone owes you something, looking for a handout, you're approaching it as this task is too great, you're approaching it as you not wanting to put in the work. Remember, energies transfer. Some people have a very good sense of being able to read people. I forgot the name. It starts with a D. It'll come to me. But they can read people. They can understand the situation very quick. And the little things that you do, not being able to look someone in the eye, not being able to shake their hand stern, not being able to transition to any conversation needed to, that's all looked at. Imagine an interview, right? An interview. When you go to an interview, what should happen? You should have already thoroughly vetted that company. You should know what they like, what they specialize in, why you want to work there, how can it benefit you. Also, most importantly, that they want to hear is how do you benefit them? Now, put that into the real world. You're meeting somebody, you're out with somebody, you're at a restaurant, you're at a lounge, you're out there at a festival. You have on your good gear, you have on your man wardrobe, not nothing that you just coming off the street, not like you just trying to kick with the homeless, but you should always be, like I said, you should always be ready ready for everything. When you are by yourself in your home, that's when you can relax. When you are outside your home, that's when you need to always be ready for an opportunity. Always be ready to be able to mingle. Always be able to be able to adapt to any circumstance, any conversation. That means reading. That means studying. That means getting to your intellect up. It's more than one way. Everything is just not a hood way. Everything is just not a by the book way. Everything is also not a professional way. Sometimes you have professional you have a conversation with professionals who did not grow up in a professional environment, and they have their own style. And you have to be wise enough to always understand that, listen, I can't come to them the way that they are necessarily speaking to me and get overly comfortable. I have to mix in a little bit of professionalism with originality, with authenticity, but also with a little bit of savviness, because every situation you have to be thinking, how can I get them, or how can I make sure that they know that this is an asset conversation? So, like I was saying before, is the way you start to do that is you have to think of yourself as more than just a worker. You have to think of yourself as more than just a number, a product, a whatever. You have to think of yourself as you are fucking him. You do, because that energy now is going to come across like you have the answers. Why? Because you believe you have the answers. As a man thinketh, so as he does, right? So what does that mean? That means that if in your mind that you have it, there's a scripture that says that there's a scripture that says that when you pray as if it's already done. Now, a lot of people may not be, quote unquote, reading the Bible, but the concept is still the same as when they say speak it into existence, right? That means you speak it as if it's about to come true, which means that when you are speaking to somebody, and the confidence and the intellect that you are showcasing, you have to understand in your mind that it's already completed. You've already done that type of work before. You've already been to that location before. You've already talked to numerous of people about the same topic. So you are well versed in the language. You are well versed in eye contact and body language. You're able to read them. Understand the cues. Understand the cues of when you're talking, and most importantly, you are watching and listening as they're talking. Understanding on, hey, if you hit a conversation and you can sound that their body kind of tenses up, or they start looking around or looking past you, looking at their watch, understanding that whatever entity you're talking to, understanding that, hey, that may not be something that may be piquing their interest. So you have to be versatile, and you also have to be savvy enough to not get into your feelings. You have to be savvy enough to understand that, okay, so how can I know this company, know this person, know this individual well enough that I can also get this person to back on track and focus on what I need him to do. Because remember, at this point in time, in this scenario, you need him more than they need you. So you have to be more of the thinker. You have to be more of the person showcasing your talents. Why? Because you know you're him. You're that person that they need. You are. But in their mind, they're like, hey, this is just any other person that I made off the street. They don't know your greatness. They don't know anything about you. So when you approaching these situations, understanding that, listen, the mindset is what's going to get you. The mindset on you is what's going to prepare you. The mindset that you have about yourself is something that you have to work on. For instance, there are people that are in relationships, right? And no matter what relationships it is, their mentality is they have to make me happy. Their mindset is the world owes me. I've been through so much. I'm going to just chill, and people need to come up to me and give me, speak to me. Well, guess what? Everybody has a story. Everybody has a story. And there's a part when somebody who's grinded for long enough, somebody who's suffered for long enough and made a way, now turns around and they say, you know what? I busted my tail to get to where I'm at. I busted my tail to get to where I'm at. So I've studied. I stayed up late. I did everything that I can to do what I needed to do. There is no way I'm going to just hand this to you. And me personally, I believe that. I agree with that. Why should they do all of the work and then turn around and hand it for free? But everybody doesn't have that mindset. Like I said, there were people who had the mindset of, you owe me, speak to me, you need to come to me. And that is not the mindset that's ever going to get you anywhere. It's not. When we talk about self-improvement, when we talk about the body game, when we talk about elevation, when we talk about grinding, when we talk about building, connecting, networking, you're never ever going to get anywhere with the mentality that they owe me. They have to come to me. Remember, men do what they want. Boys do what they can. Which means that you are at the mercy of what they want. You know, it is your priority to work on the things that you need to work on. If you feel like, hey, you know what, I have the resume, I have the qualities, I have everything that it wants, you have to then ask yourself, how can I improve my weak areas? Maybe it's not your intellect, maybe it's not your resume, maybe it's the way you deliver, maybe it's your energy, maybe it's your tone, maybe it's your lack of eye contact, which displays that, hey, maybe they're not confident in what they say. Maybe it's your lack of uhs and I don't know and shoot. Maybe it's your lack of professionalism. If it's those, it's not nobody else's responsibility to then fix that. It's your responsibility to look within that man in the mirror and say, you know what? I have to change that. I have to stand in front of the mirror maybe 10, 15 minutes a day and work on that. Reading to myself in the mirror to work on how I pronounce my words. Maybe going and going to see somebody to help me write my resumes better, to how can I relate things better. That is your job to work on that. There's too many of y'all brothers, man. Y'all sit back, y'all have this woe is me attitude. F my baby mama, F my daddy, F my mama. I ain't never done. At some point in time, guess what? You're gonna be 60 years old and you're gonna be talking about something, man, you know what, man, I'm over that. I'm about to go out here and do me. But that time, you done wasted 60 years. 60 years when you could have come to the revelation that only you was going to save you. Only you was going to get yourself out of that situation. Only you was going to get yourself out of that situation. Only you was going to get yourself out of that situation. Only you was going to get yourself out of that situation. Only you was going to get yourself out of that situation. Only you was going to get yourself out of that situation. Only you was going to get yourself out of that situation. Only you was going to get yourself out of that situation. Only you was going to get yourself out of that situation. Only you was going to get yourself out of that situation. Only you was going to get yourself out of that situation. Only you was going to get yourself out of that situation. Only you was going to get yourself out of that situation. Only you was going to get yourself out of that situation. Only you was going to get yourself out of that situation. Only you was going to get yourself out of that situation. Only you was going to get yourself out of that situation. Only you was going to get yourself out of that situation. Only you was going to get yourself out of that situation. Only you was going to get yourself out of that situation. Only you was going to get yourself out of that situation. Only you was going to get yourself out of that situation. Only you're going to do that. So you're waiting around for who? Who are you waiting around with? That's the problem with a lot of brothers. They're waiting around for what? They're waiting around to be told to do something. We talked about that before. Stop waiting on somebody else to tell you to get your ass up and go to the gym. Stop waiting. Because when you have somebody who done lost 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 pounds, they're not going to try to hear this goddamn excuse. They're not, because they're going to say, you know what, when I was well off worse than you, I still did it. I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning. A lot of people use these excuses. Well, I'm tired. I just got off work. You know, I have to cook for the kids. I got to go pick up my boys from school. They got football practice. Guess what? You did all that. And guess what's going to happen? At the end of the day, when that doctor telling you you have a failing liver, you have a diabetes, you have congested heart failure, when you have you're morbidly obese, your stomach is hitting your knees, only use on a doctor visit. That doctor ain't gonna ask you anything about your kids, anything about picking up nobody, or why you ain't. He ain't gonna ask you none of that. You know what he gonna tell you? He gonna read those goddamn numbers off to you and tell you, man, you are very, very unhealthy. You are in a very bad shape, and now you're requiring surgery. Now you're requiring something that is causing a life-altering change in you. Do you understand what a life-altering change is, man? Do you ask somebody who has to get up every day and prick himself with a needle to test his sugar, how much he wish he didn't have to do that? How much they wish they can just walk in there and eat a bowl of cereal, eat some bread, eat their favorite pastas, eat pizza, eat anything like that. Ask them and tell you what they'd give up for that. Ask somebody to say, hey, what would you give up for your health? Most people would give anything in this world for their health. They would. And what you doing? You're sitting up there complaining because what? Because of what? Because you don't want to get up early. You don't want to work out late. You don't want to sacrifice your Nintendo time, your PlayStation time, your Xbox time. You don't want to sacrifice your basketball time or you watching your favorite football team. You don't want to sacrifice your favorite dishes. People really think that they can get up, eat pizza, their favorite dishes every single day of their life, drink every single day of their life, smoke, do whatever they want to do every single day of their life, and then get really shocked when they get on that scale or get those doggone health when they go on them health visits and get their results back. They're really shocked. Myself was included. Imagine being in your low 20s, being in your mid 20s, and you find out you got something life changing that is now with you. Imagine you in your 30s and 40s telling me something. I need a liver. I need a kidney. Imagine that, man. And you like, man, I'm not too far removed from playing college football, college basketball. It's the mindset. It's the mindset that is holding you back. It's not the white man. It's not your girl. It's not the kids. It's not your job. Because we all know that there are labor laws here. You can only work so much. You can only work so much. There are literally labor laws. There are literally food calorie counters. There is literally serving labels on 99 to 100% of everything you buy in a grocery store. They're there. All the stuff is right on the package. It's your mentality that doesn't read the labels. It's your mentality that doesn't do the work. It's your mentality on how you view yourself, on what you will and what you won't tolerate in life. When we talk about self-improvement, man, a lot of times we jump into how do we get more girls? How do we make more money? How do we deal with bullshit? How do we deal with submissiveness? How do we deal with angry coworkers? And we don't fucking Google how do we change our own lazy asses. We don't ever Google that. We don't ever look for videos for that. We always have the mentality it's somebody else's fault. We have that mentality. It's everybody else's fault but ours. That's crazy. And then in the same breath, you didn't even think about fixing yourself, you're talking about, I want to add. You know what addition brings? Problems, changes. If you're not fucking good with handling change, and you want another wife, you want a girlfriend, you want another job, you want your own business, the hell you think is going to happen? The hardships, responsibility, accountability, organization, thoroughness, being able to validate everything that you do and say, research, continued research, safety, more training, all of that stuff is literally needed. Literally needed. Some people don't even have a bank account. I was a barber, right, in Georgia, and there's a lot of people that say, you know, I'm a barber, whatever, and they just stuff their money in a shoe. They stuff their money in a shoe box. They got it in their drawer and all that stuff. And like, man, I got cash. Well, there's also being hood rich. What is that? What is that? You got your cars. You got whatever you need. But guess what? When it's time to get a damn house, purchase property, something of that importance, for us who've been blessed enough to do so, we all know what's needed. And you know what that is? Proof. Validation that you are and make what you say you make. How do we do that? Consistency. What needs to be consistent? Your consistent payments to a bank. Saying that, hey, month after month after month after year, I make this amount. I double that. I take some out. I make withdrawals. I do that. Why? It is a consistent checklist on yourself. Now, if we're able to do that, if we hit that milestone and say, yeah, I got that. I got a bank account. I got that. You know what I mean? They can see how much I'm making, blah, blah, blah. Then answer me this. Why aren't we doing a consistent checklist on us? Think about it. When's the last time you talked to somebody about the problems that you was going through? When the last time you reached out to somebody and just vented and just been able to talk and let out those problems? When's the last time that you was able to just go for a walk and think and make a decision for you? When's the last time you were able to get out all of the frustration, whether that's being able to hit the heavy bag, whether that's just going fishing, whether that's just that's just praying, that's just going to a place and just screaming, doing whatever you need. These are little checklists, month after month, year after year, week after week, that we must do to keep us together. We got to do that. We can't talk about something. Oh yeah, sometimes I do it. Well, guess what? In the real world, you know what that is? They'll say, if that's a bank, they're going to say something like, hey, you don't have enough history that we can go back and validate this. So keep stacking, keep putting money in the bank, and we're going to check your credit. Why do they check your credit? Because it's a continual checklist on you as a person. Now, if we can conform to that, then we have to have the mindset to say, hey, I also need a continued checklist that I do, or you, the individual, do, that says, you know what, let me monitor how I've been feeling for these past months. Because sometimes we can slip into a depression and we don't even know we slipped into it. You can slip into something and you don't even know you slipped into it. How do you know? Because a lot of times we say stuff like, man, I lost myself. Some people, they say, oh, I had a midlife crisis. That's the thing I want to jump on to. A midlife crisis. Let me ask you something. Why the hell is it that when a man has something that he wants to do and he does it, and he's doing it, and to other people it's crazy, why the hell do they call that a midlife crisis? But yet, if anybody else, or if a woman, or for anybody else was doing something, and if they were like, let's just say 40 years old, and they'll decide to say, you know what, I never had a child before, I want to have a child. Or if they say, hey, I'm 40 years old, I lost 100 pounds, I lost 100 pounds. How come that shit ain't a midlife crisis? But whenever a man wants to do something, whether he was being sedentary all his life, and then he wants to go out there and say, you know what, I want to go and I want to train and fight a professional fight as a boxer, why does that have to be a midlife crisis? Why can't it be a person just waking the hell up and saying, you know what, man, I've been sitting on my ass for far too long. I want to get up and I want to achieve the goals that I've always had in mind, but I've always held myself back. Why isn't that looked at as the same way? Why is it that when a person decides to say, I'm sick of being fat, I'm sick of being lazy, I'm sick of blaming the world, why is it got you having a midlife crisis? Why isn't that applauded and say, man, wow, man, you are really making great changes in your life? Ask yourself that. We all know the reason. What I'm saying is that you must have that wake up. You must have that wake up. What is the wake up? The wake up is you telling yourself, I'm able to be better. I'm able to do better. I want to do better. I'm going to do better. That's what is needed. That's what is needed. You know? So yeah, I just wanted to come in and you know what I mean, talk to y'all about changes, about our mental health or self-improvement. Don't let nobody hold you back, man. The mindset that you have for yourself is going to be the foundation that you need to start the change. Okay, you honored the Most High. You reverenced the Most High. You gave thanks to the Most High. Yes, then what? Okay, yes, I need to take care of my spiritual needs, my emotional needs, my physical needs. But before that, there has to be a change in your mental self about yourself. You have to look at yourself and say, you know what, I gotta love myself enough not to put up with bullshit. I gotta love myself enough to say, you know, I'm not gonna let nobody doggone do this stuff to me no more. If you got a doggone a wife and you done busted your ass and you come home every day and they ain't cooking for you, they ain't got nothing, you know what I'm saying? They ain't cooking for you, they ain't making you feel good, they're not telling you they love you, they're not being there for you, they're not pushing you to be better, they're not saying, hey, have you checked on yourself for a while? Are you feeling okay? If they're not asking you questions and making sure that you right, that's not their responsibility, but that's what hopefully they should do if they love you. But if they're not asking you that, then ask yourself, who in your life is? Are you? If you don't have nobody in your life checking on you like that, you should for sure be listening to this video, because there's nobody else in your damn life telling you or caring about you enough to tell you, hey, make sure you take time out for you. Make sure you start to love you before you start to try to divvy out any other kind of love. You must be okay with you. How the hell can you go out there and help and give love to other people, but yet you still killing yourself, overeating, sugar, drugs, out there just not sleeping good, not drinking water. You're killing yourself slow. You're not talking to somebody, man. A lot of people, we have this misconception and say that I don't need to talk to these people. Everybody crazy. Like, no, bro. That doesn't seem logical at all. It doesn't seem logical at all. You can't keep all of that pain and that hurt in. You cannot do that, because what's going to do is going to manifest itself in other areas. You may have a brother who seems good on the outside, because brothers can go years and years with extreme destructive behaviors, and nobody around them sees it, because society makes it the norm. What is that? That's heavy drinking, heavy partying, lack of nutrition. They make that the norm. That's every day, but those are destructive behaviors. You have brothers that live like that, and they also dealing with depression, anxiety, social miscues, social awkwardness, acne. They're very, very self-conscious. You have brothers that are dealing with all of that every day. You see them for 10, 15, 20 years, and inside they're dying. They hate themselves. They're embarrassed. And you're wondering like, dang, man, he gaining weight, he getting bigger, but that's still my dog. And he seemed happy. He cracking jokes. He doing everything. He playing the game with you. Y'all going out every weekend. You don't have no clue. And then all of a sudden you get a text message saying he took their life. They took their lives. You know, their wife left him. You ask their wife, why? What happened? I don't know. He stopped being him. But then you have to ask yourself, what would make a person stop being that person? You know why? Because that person may have been continuously giving themselves to everybody else but themselves. I'm telling you, that's what happens with men, bro. We every day we wake up. How's our kids doing? How's our girl? How's our wife? How's our mom doing? How's our sister doing? How our brothers doing? And we every day we going to work. We doing all this shit. And by the time you look back at it, you done gained 40 pounds. And you like, damn, I used to play ball every weekend. Every weekend I used to just do X, Y, and Z. I haven't done that in years. One time I asked my dad, I said, he was telling me about how he used to go always hunting and he used to do all this. You know, he used to hunt a lot. He used to fish a lot. And then when he moved and became a pastor, you know what I mean, over all these years, I had asked him, I said, Dad, how come you never did any of that with us? You never said anything about it. He said, I don't know, when I moved and got married, I just stopped. And I'm like, man, my dad is 80-something years old. And for an 80-something-year-old man to mention that, the way he did it told me everything. He missed it. That was a part of him that he let go. He let go of that part. Why? Because he felt like, I can't keep up that part of me and do everything else. I disagree with that. Man. You do shit that you love to do. There's no situation on earth that you need to stop doing you. They always talk about some happy wife equal happy life. Man, that's the biggest bullshit in the world. That's the biggest bullshit in the world. How the hell is your main mission is to make your wife happy and that equals a happy life and you're fucking miserable? No, it's happy life. Because when you're able to be happy and you're able to be yourself, you're able to be the person that they fell in love with. Society teaches you to go behind them and kiss their ass and, hey babe, do you want me to rub your feet and blah, 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 and do you want me to, cross the ocean for you? And they never show you that the man got any goddamn thing after that. They never show you that shit. All they showed you was the Homer Simpson effect. Look on every television show, and why is the dad the stupid one? He's the comedian. He's the dumb one that doesn't know anything. He's the one dope. He's the stupid one who just eats donuts and gets bossed around. And he comes home, and his wife is the one who solves all the problems that he created, and he's the one fumbling over there and arguing and fighting with his neighbor. Like, that right there, that engine, that source is the same source that's telling your simple ass happy wife, happy life, and don't give a damn about you. That's bullshit. That's bullshit, and they know it. That's bullshit, and they know it. They know it. Because even a woman, if you really think about it, a woman is most happiest when her man is in his kingship. Why? Because by nature they want to protect her. By nature they want somebody who know what the fuck they out here doing. By nature they want somebody who can solve goddamn problems. By nature, they want someone opposite of them. So if you goddamn docile and don't know what to say or do, and you're, hey babe, can we? What the fuck she need you for? It's your responsibility to fix that. You have to fix that and have enough nuts to say, you know what, man, hold on. I'm about to work on me. I'm about to work on me and do everything I need to do for success of me. And after that, everything else is going to fall into place. Listen, brothers, man, I hope y'all got some info for this. Love y'all. Shalom. Blackmen Thoughts. Like, subscribe, share, hit the like button. Peace.